We kick the series off. Hardpoint, Valkyrie, and we're going to start on board with Joe. Of course, we saw Hot Mike. We gave him a bit of credit, saying, you know, one of the more problematic players I have to play against.
Yeah, and Red Reserve, I think, are going to be that kind of team that a lot of the North Americans typically will be watching out for. They're going to get flashbacks, of course, of that loser bracket run, because, in all honesty, how many teams did Red Reserve beat there? Octane pulling off a nice 3. Let's make it 5 to kick things off, as Luminosity might have dropped the first 10 points, but Octane and that kill feed is all blue.
And it's worth mentioning, Valk, a very interesting pick that's come through here. LG looked very comfortable, but Red Reserve, they sat and watched Splice blow them out of the water on this map. So I'm curious to see if maybe they learned something from watching Splice play this map that they can bring in here to map number 1.
Well, starting things off with 15 seconds still left on vents. The one thing I do think about when I see this map is, of course, Splice just putting LG down by 100 instantly. That is not going to happen.
No.
Probably won't happen again. However, the vents are going to go in favor of Luminosity. Not by much, but by 10. You're looking at that rotation, though. And we're going to the operations bunker now. Still that kill feed, all blue. Octane 9-1 already.
Yeah, 4 streak to kick things off. And you can see already working close towards the first of those streaks. It's going to be a fighter pilot. Just needs 225 more points. And he's just going to watch that crossover towards the hill. Picks up 1 kill. He's going to be able to find the second before falling. Not going to happen, but an impressive 10-2 start from him. Now this is where you look at the likes of maybe John to really kind of step up for LG as well. Valk and John just go together perfectly. It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, you think about these close quarter combat battles, you're going to look at the likes of Josh and John and Joe and all the J's in between, JCap as well. It's going to be a bloodbath, but I will say the slaying side of things going Luminosity's way. The points, though, pretty even now as we're going to rotate over to this bunker on your screen, though. Joe looking for the first, should be taken from behind. Oh, no, he's going to find another before that. And teammate Josh comes in, saves the day in red. They're going to get the scrap points, Ben, but they're also going to get that rotation. This is key.
And Joe just ran through Octane there. And note, as soon as that hill rotates, a 4 streak for Joe, he's going to try and get that extra 100 points. So now just 125 is all he needs to earn that first streak. It could be the first of many as well here for Joe. A wonderful start, like we mentioned. Josh also looking to maybe pick things up a little bit. And Joe, maybe want to just bait Josh out a little bit here, you know, play for those streaks.
Yep, and Joe's going to sit tight here in the corner looking for these streaks. And
I love this. I love it. So smart.
The first, pre-fire, won't find the second. That's because no one's there, but JCap is going to find Joe. Joe going to find one more. He's not going to pick him up, but that's going to be double digits him as Octane now. But it was all about those kills on rotation. They got the scrap and the rotation, and that's why they're in the lead right now.
And you have to think as well, right? Not only does Joe get those streaks, and you see the way they set that play up, it was fabulous to watch, but they managed to get all of this hill time as well, and the kills are still coming in for Red Reserve. 15 seconds left, and Red say thanks for the full 60, LG.
Full 60 seconds in favor of Red Reserve. And one player who I will say, I feel he's very influenced by the start of a game. A very momentum-based player is Zero. I've seen him have, you know, I will say horrific starts, and I've seen him have the opposite. And for him, this is great. 10-6, 4-kill streak. I can hear him through my headset getting loud on the main stage. And that's when Zero's at his best. That's where he's playing confident. And right now,
more streaks. More streaks. Zero, he's able to potentially earn a 3rd streak here as well. He's on a 5 streak. You see the artillery almost earned. He's in a spot slack mid-map. A couple of shots in there, but ultimately backs away from the fight. And again, it's one of these situations where he's allowed to play passive, but more importantly, Red Reserve, they're still in the hill here as he finds one. That's Cap that falls. One more kill ought to do it for Zero. And Red Reserve are essentially now, Phil, in the driving seat of map number 1.
Yeah, 6-kill streak for Zero. That is streaks for him. Josh had a little bit of a slow start, but we talk about adaptable teams, and Red Reserve and Zero and Josh, or Joe should I say in particular, they've really stepped it up. They've carried that initial. Obviously, Josh will be wanting to get into it, but the all-important thing is that scoreline. 133 plays 66, a dominant lead here. And Luminosity, we've seen them obviously fall behind against teams like Splice. Red Reserve, they're most definitely picked Valkyrie for a reason. They're showing why.
John managed to find a big double, and no, I was just about to say, it's all good and well having Octane going nearly double positive, but you need the SMG presence. You need it. Valk is such a close quarter map. Yes, Octane's watching the lanes, and he's doing a great job. You can't critique him at all, but it's the sub-pressure from LG. It just isn't matching that of Red Reserve right now. And Red trying to make it look easy as they break in towards smokestacks. Finally, though, LG with a big defensive hold. Josh looking to trade, and Joe's going to invest his fighter pilot here. And you'll see maybe the glide bomb come out as well, but may actually opt to save that one.
Couple of kills there for Cap. He's going to give LG the favorable spawns, and not only that, it should be a couple of points here on smokes. Octane taken down 21-11. The crazy thing is about that is I've not really seen that much of a difference made by him. Obviously, Red Reserve are heavily in the lead, but Octane, the stats don't lie, and he is 21 kills and counting. but still in control of smokestacks. We're going to be heading back, of course, in this rotation. But Luminosity, they're going to hit triple digits, and we're going to go again.
And again, I think that comes down to the sub-pressure, right? You haven't seen that kind of monstrous game you're so used to seeing from John. I mean, we saw it all at Birmingham. We've seen it all throughout the regular season. And, you know, now all of a sudden you're in a Valkyrie game, and the subs from Red Reserve, they're starting to heat up. They're starting to get loud. Zero's going to invest in some streaks of his own, simply because here, he may actually overlap in his streak, so he's kind of forced his hand almost. Managed to find one. That's going to be slacked, but still alive, more importantly here. So another kill's going to give him even more streaks, Phil.
This is insane. And the one thing I will say, the last time I saw Zero play out of his mind, the one where, you know, he was an absolute beast, it was Stage 1 playoff.
I knew you were going to say it. I knew you were going to say it, Phil.
20-10. The guy's on a 6-kill streak. This is where it's comfortable, and this is why we obviously look at Zero to be that player, that X factor for the squad. 85 points in the lead. Red Reserve, they're taking control of the vents. We're going to see Slack and Cat, though, go in. And this streak from Zero, interesting. It might pick up John, but those points going in favor of LG.
And I like that streak, right? Because traditionally, when we talk about Valk, we talk about smoke stacks being the key. But all he's doing there is trying to just lock down that rotation. Basically, you're trying to kill this game off as quickly as you can. If you give yourself another 20, 30-point cushion here for LG, this is going to be almost impossible to come back, especially considering you still have more streaks to even break into the likes of smokestacks. You have another fighter pilot and another glide bomb here, and they're still winning all the gunfights in the hill. This is beautiful, beautiful play from Red Reserve.
Zero is playing out of his mind, and what he's bringing to the table, not only the kills, but he's bringing that communication. Joe, 21 and 19, the interaction level just of the SMG presence, incredible from Red Reserve. You're looking at the likes of Slacked and John to pick it up here in the last quarter, but 220 and counting now as Red Reserve. Radiant's going to find one. He could find a second with a pre-fire. Will do as Slack goes down. Look at the rotation. Again, this is where Red Reserve, they dominated. Radiant single-handedly holding this, but he's finally going to go down with 15 seconds. But we're going to the bunker, and this is where Red Reserve, they can end it. They got a full 60 here last time, Ben.
You may actually see a potential glide bomb come through. They're going to use it as well. Joe wants to just secure a little bit of time if possible. Not going to find the kill, but gets the information. 227, 126. Red Reserve, this is your game for the taking as Joe finds another pick. It's left down to Octane to break in, but I don't think he has the support yet. He may have to wait, but no, decides to push through, and Octane keeping things close.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, 26 kills, fantastic, but it's not equal in points. The points are counting up, and Red Reserve, they're 7 points away from closing this one out. Joe, Josh adding to the mix, answered back by Cat, but the points going only in Red Reserve's favor until then. This now has to be a flawless game. I don't want to get too hyped up about it because Red Reserve, they've been brilliant. Surely there's a break coming.
So smart. Josh, you are almost a genius. I'm not sure if you caught what he did there, but he allowed a couple of players of LG to push through. They had no idea he had that spawn, and ultimately grabs the final 3 seconds. And with that, Red Reserve comfortably take map 1 against LG. And you know, you have to think big picture here for LG. Rest of the tournament, is Valk Hardpoint now a map that you feel that comfortable on?
Crazy to think the loser of this plays Rise Nation and won it. I'm just thinking that this whole weekend is going to be absolutely insane. Say weekend, we're not even there yet. It's just the best teams in the world battling it out, and your champions, literally, how many days ago was it? We're talking like 4 days ago on Sunday. It was like, these are your champions, and right now we see another poor hard point from them. Great to see Red Reserve coming out the blocks, obviously firing the Search and Destroy coming up next, a completely different game mode. And of course, will it go to the Game 5?
Maybe. I would mind seeing a good old-fashioned Game 5. We'd love that. But it is worth mentioning, Red Reserve, they've come to this event really with a lot to prove, right? A massive amount to prove, and a bit of a chip on their shoulder from a really poor performance at Birmingham. There's no other way of describing it. And what a way to make a statement here. You know, if you're able to throw LG down into the losers bracket, I mean, day one is just crazy so far. But it isn't that ridiculous to think. Obviously, we've mentioned Red Reserve's talent and just their capabilities in the past. And I feel like that, mixed with their hunger and desire to win here in their first round, it's given us a fantastic game.
Yeah, and you think about Luminosity and Red Reserve and kind of the last time they met up, obviously, when Red Reserve went on that loser bracket run, it was LG who fell into the path. Of course, they were off a loss, and Red Reserve were off about a 9-win streak. But Red Reserve, they smoked them. It was a one-sided affair. And don't get me wrong, it's a completely different situation. We're in playoffs now. It's not even, you know, an event type thing. This is completely different. It's completely different. And I expect LG to, you know, regain a little, go hard. But the fuel has been poured all over Red Reserve. It's been lit now. And the plays you need to watch out for is when Zero starts getting hyped, Rated starts getting vocal. Joe, you're not going to hear too much of. But even Josh, he didn't have the best. He didn't have the best game individually, but he's one to see which player's going off and gas him up. Yeah. He'll be the one who just keeps that fire going.
He's a great kind of captain of the squad. If you
oh yeah,
like his contributions go way beyond just mere gameplay. But of course, they were looking at our map set. It was a 251-33 win on a Valk hardpoint for Red Reserve. Now you look at London Docks Search and Destroy, and this was the one map during the veto process, Phil, where I kind of looked at you and said, yeah, I'm not too sure about that from Red. I would have maybe liked to see that banned out. We've seen LG have great success on this map, but if Red take London Docks, LG's in trouble. Like we mentioned, oh, this could be a quick series. Yeah, this could be a 3-0 Red Reserve. LG could be in the loser's bracket as quick as you blink.
Well, it'd be kind of crazy to think two 3-0 upsets, if you like, to kick things off. But we're going to be going into Game 2 shortly. Like you said, Ben, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think the one thing that I always credit Red Reserve with, and that comes along with the likes of Rated, is research. He will always be the one researching his team, spending 2-3 hours at a morning of a tournament or a morning of a game before. He'll have researched this. This is not just a blind pick. We are way past, years past that now. These players coordinate. They'll know what they're doing. I
mean, put it this way. In Birmingham, I mentioned a couple of LG's kind of pocket strats here on London Docks. There's really not that many, as you would expect, but if we know that, Phil, you expect Red Reserve to know that as well. John Octane, the way they run mid-map can be just troublesome. Then you can expect John on the attacking side to maybe pull out that sniper rifle a few rounds in, really try and get some trouble over towards that A site. And speaking of LG, it will be them on the attacking side first of all. And this may be kind of your traditional smoke A, cross, try and get that bomb down.
Yeah, I'm actually, even though we will stay on board and, of course, watch LG on the attack, I'm interested to see how Red set up. And that's what I'm going to be watching off the break here. Just
Rated from the sniper rifle, maybe? Does he have one? Nope, doesn't have one.
So they're anticipating the smoke, so they're throwing obviously those stuns straight out, and Joe's getting aggressive. This is typically what you see from Zuma. Rated does pick off Octane down low, and Joe's going to go and make it a 3v3 as he does fall Zero elsewhere. Now finds Slacked. And this is great. This is a fantastic position. Look where the bomb is as well, Ben. Oh, that's got to be...
He has to be careful here, though. May just call that one out. Doesn't want to be shot in the back. Rated should get that call out from his teammate, and that's a bayonet to the heart of John. He falls, and just like that, JCap left in a 1 versus 3 situation. 53 seconds left. It's not looking good.
And this is what you want from Red Reserve. Obviously not zero down, but you want to kick off, obviously, your search and destroy quick with a round win like that. Following a hard point like they have done, that's again just more reassurance that this is doable. This is okay. You're in a great position, and not to worry, because of course when the playoffs were announced and you kind of knew who you were going up against, no one knew that LG were going to be coming off the back of a tournament win.
Right.
No one knew that Red Reserve would have been coming off a very poor performance, but this is why the playoffs is so interesting, man.
Wonderful round one there from Red Reserve. I love the way they sent Zero Joe to potentially counter that Octane and John mid-map pressure. Works out overall in the big picture. Of course, Joe not able to find the pick on Cap. It was, and Zero's known for that pre-fire. Not going to connect with a pick as you would expect, but look at the A site. And this is something LG do so often on this map, Phil. They just give it away, and they just rely on a Wolfpack mentality to retake.
And the worst thing about this is Rated. He's got 3 kills to his name. Now he's got a plant, and they'll know that. They're not silly. Of course, Rated's going to pick up the bomb on his 3-0. The great thing for Red Reserve is the setup. The time they have now, they can pretty much watch every angle. It is going to be a lot of pressure on Zero, a lot of pressure on Josh.
Zero's done so well there. There's 2 players flanking. He gets a kill. Yes, ultimately falls, but he's done his job. He's traded out his life effectively. Problem, however, Red Reserve fall like dominoes. It's Joe left last man alive. 1v3. Makes it a 1v2. Weak and expecting to be pushed. Ultimately falls as well. And a good retake there from LG.
I think the defining moment was obviously Zero and Josh kind of watching the back. That one kill that Zero picks up, great. If Zero Josh picks up another, I think it would have kind of been round over there. But LG, they clutch up for that one, a much needed round, especially after losing a hard point like that. You lose round 1 like that. They're back in this now. And of course, yes, we're only round 3, but you don't want to give that momentum to the opposing team.
And more importantly, you mentioned it, Rated on a streak, maybe working towards some streaks, gets the plant down as well. You've stopped that early, right? You now don't have to worry about that. It's a complete and utter reset.
Okay, well, talking a reset, let's flip those sides back over. And Octane, he anticipated that push from Joe. He did it round 1, and he's going to be stopped round 2. John's going to find a grenade in his face. But I really like this. Joe, he's not only gone aggressive on round 1, he's going aggressive on the defense as well. He's going to find himself in the back of the base.
John needs to be careful. Zero pre-aiming, and you're right, Joe, now really the key playmaker here.
Oh, did see it, maybe. I think he...
Well, he sees it out. That's an easy kill by Joe Standard. That's going to be a double. Ultimately, actually finds the assist there. Josh cleans him up. Octane now 1 versus 4 situation. This is going to be troublesome, but if there's a man that could do it, we've seen Octane have some fantastic search plays in the past. There's the first. Still 3 players left.
Yeah, and Red Reserve just needs to go, okay, right, one's fallen. Let's regroup, 30 seconds, let him make the move, and I like this. There's no hesitation from Red Reserve. There's no indecisiveness. They've stuck to their guns, and this will result.
Uh-oh. So you can, I was about to say, good trade. You can give away the plant as well in that situation.
Yeah.
You know he's not close to streaks. You don't really have to worry about that. Worst case scenario, give up a plant and just retake it a 3v1, right? Relatively easy. At that point, one player can just hop straight on bomb. You force his hand to come through. But another good round. And it's worth mentioning now, I would love to see maybe some stuns come out mid-map, right? Because you saw Joe go for that push, either from LG or Red Reserve. Just try and stop that pressure, because it's basically a John versus Joe rush now. That's that mid-map fight that you're going to see.
Well, let's flip those sides once again, add another 90 seconds to the timer, and go once more. John, 0 and 3 right now. He's going to want to change that and turn it around. So let's stay on board with him. This airborne hunker. Again, LG this time not going 4 at B. They've split up 2 to 2. And we are going to get some very quick first bloods. Look at the position of all these players. Octane's taking down Josh. We've got to surely have a trade, and that's going to be from Joe. But again, Joe managed to stay alive.
And now look at the minimap. John doing exactly what we saw last round from Joe, right? He hits underground, he goes for that sneaky little flank. Is he going to be able to find any Red Reserve players, though? Now Cap's in support. Raided's going to spot him, and John does wonderfully to stay alive. Cap now goes in for the trade, but Raided picks up a double. Buy one, get one free, if you will, and Slack falls as well, and Red Reserve win 2 in a row.
I don't think Raided knew himself there. I don't know if he's confused at it or he's just getting hyped off Josh, but fair play to the Welshman there as he finds himself a double. And you know what? We talked about how Joe got behind, and you know that was basically the catalyst of why they won that round. John tried the same. Rated was the reason they won that round. He was aware. He was aware. Hang on, I've not seen anything mid, not really heard anything B. Let me just check behind me. He checks behind himself. He finds the first. I think, and of course we weren't on his POV, but I think it might have been one of those situations where both running at the same time. He kind of picked him up instantly. But just the face of Rated there, you know he's hungry for this. A point to prove. And all of Europe behind him.
Now, John, 0-4 pulls out the sniper rifle, something we've seen him do a fair amount of time, but he hasn't seen anything cross to the A site. Now, if you're LG, you potentially just call rotate. Now you get the pick on 0. Surely you get your bomb carrier just to fly over to the A site. You know nothing crossed. There was no smokes. The A site is completely clear. Instead, LG, they're just going to use their raw gun skill. They push into B. Well, that's all 4 players dead.
Yeah, and again, it's those first 2 picks. Sniper, you can't really do much about. That second 50-50 that goes down by Cole just gives LG a 4v2. And like you said, just bullying their way in, finding the players and picking them apart, as they will find another round. LG not a stranger to have their back against the wall. Only last week they found themselves actually losing the first best of 5 in the final. But again, a team of great composure. They'll be able to go into these next couple of rounds, and maybe the later stages, the round 10s, your round 11s, and still have that composure. And
you feel like tying it up here 3-3 is big, right? 3-3 and 4-2, very, very different, that's for sure. As Cap defensively trying to make something happen, has the support of John here, but both players almost forced to give up their original power positions, and now you have a situation where Red Reserve, if they still have a little bit of utility left, could actually take this B site with somewhat ease. Of course, do note on the minimap, number 7, that's going to be Joe, watching for anyone overextending from the A site. But still, you have this very prolonged 1v1. John's finally going to dedicate himself to it, shuts down Josh, no one there for the trade.
Yeah, and I think Josh didn't really have much of a choice. He's still, oh my goodness.
Good read.
I was going to say, he sits there, he's going to get picked apart. Raid's going to find another double 8 and 2, fair play. As he does start to disassemble the Luminosity team. 9 and 2 as he finds his 3rd, and I think that's 0 there to pick it up. But every time, and I'm going to stop myself speaking there as I want to hear what Rady was saying, but it's the fire. It is that hunger, that desire that fuels a player like Raided, and I think you're in trouble if you let him build upon that.
And what's interesting as well, I'm not sure if you saw his tweet earlier on in the day, said it's very unusual being the only European team at an event, and he was feeling the love. All of Europe now with just one team to get behind, and of course it is Red Reserve. If you're a European Call of Duty fan, you want to see them do well, and that must be unusual for a player, right? Because normally you kind of split your fan base. Some people obviously prefer Splice, you know, there's Unilad fans out there, so many, you know, European organizations, Epsilon out there as well, but now it's basically just Europe all behind as Josh pushes through. That's a double looking for the triple as well. Easy 1-2 2-3 for Josh, and that leaves JCap 1v4 once again.
The crazy thing is, Josh is 1-5 at the start of this round, and talking about gassing a team up, that's how you do it. I did want to point out something, and I will go back to it now, and look, Rated looked angry, he's ready for a fight. But I will say it's not necessarily, it's great to have all the fan support, but as a player, as a pro player, the likes of Rated, for example, he's got all of Unilad, all of Splice, you know, all of the other pro players in Europe right behind him. I think those are the most important things, is having your fellow competitors behind you.
Yes.
You know how the Twitter sphere can go, of course. We can see them get very, very excited. But rightly so, Red Reserve 1 round away from taking the second map. Of course, if you just missed it, Red Reserve, they dominate map number 1 in complete honesty. Same as map number 2. And
I mentioned my worries here in map 2, you know, for Red Reserve, but they've come out and just proven me completely and utterly wrong. They know what LG's playbook is, and they've read it like a book. And because of that, now they find themselves in a great position. A map point bombs down as well. LG with all the work to do. We saw them give a fantastic retake in one of the earlier rounds, but now you have to try and do it 3v4.
Yeah, this is Red Reserve's round to throw away. They've got the bomb down. They don't have to put any pressure on. That's a bit of a mistake. Should trades come in, I love what Joe's doing here. Nothing on the stat, but just staying alive is going to just reduce that time a little bit more. Rated able to pick up 1. Now a 2v1 slacked. All to do it, and Zero, he just needs to play the time, Ben. You know as well as I do. That round is over to GG, and interesting. Very, very interesting to see the mentality of these players. It doesn't look like Rated's gonna move. He's ready just to get map number 3 underway.
Can we get to the CTF, lads? Let's keep this series rolling. But a wonderful, wonderful game 2 there, Phil, from Red Reserve.
Magnificent, I will say, just the way that I'm going to highlight a couple of plays. The pressure from Joe mid-map.
Yep.
I don't think he picked up the kill first time, but he got traded instantly. Yep. The pressure from Joe, again, hidden from the back, wins them around pretty much, flanking around. And the consistency of Rated, you know, just picking up those 2 kills. And let's not forget the 3-piece from Josh. It's just plays after plays, and that's why you find Red Reserve not only taking the series 2-0 at the moment, but just the way they do it, it's very convincing at the moment.
I think you nailed it, to be honest. Joe as well, such a key player throughout this entire series. A fantastic game 1, a great game 2. Now, of course, we head over to an Ardennes Forest CTF. We've seen Joe be so sneaky throughout the regular season on this map and game mode specifically. So, for me, this could be a 3-0 here for Red Reserve, or, of course, LG, our reigning champs, may have to try and start a reverse sweep. But this is where I think you need to see the likes of John really step it up, because when it comes to the sub pressure, Red Reserve have had LG in their back pocket, and because of that, Red Reserve find themselves 2-0 up in the series. We'll be back with CTF after this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Stage 1 playoffs here at the CWL, presented by PlayStation 4. And we kick things off with a fantastic game. And second game of the day, not too bad either, Phil.
No, it's turning up to be quite an interesting one here. The European squad have obviously Red Reserve 2-0 up against Luminosity, the current champions of, CWL Birmingham. And we're seeing different Red Reserve here today. We're seeing a very fired up one. Zero's kicking on all... I don't even know what I'm saying. Rated is going off at the moment, kicking on all cylinders. That is not something you want to say. Firing on all cylinders. But LG, they need to turn this around, and it needs to start now because there's a little shark waiting in the loser bracket already.
Yeah, Rise.
Big shark, actually.
Big shark. And you have that potential matchup now of a Rise LG losers round 1 matchup. One of those two teams could finish in last place.
7th, 8th.
Which is crazy to think. But LG still have some hope. It just comes in the form of a reverse sweep against Red Reserve on Arden Forest CTF. So I don't know how likely that is, I'm going to be honest with you, Phil. But it's possible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're talking Forest, we're talking ARs, and you're talking Octane. Instantly, you've got to have a little bit of faith in them for this one. However, Rated, he's been absolutely lights out so far. Be interesting to see how we're going to kick things off. A very aggressive defense there for Slack as he rushes into the bunker. And I think for now, he's going to be able to prolong the attack of Red Reserve. Last one alive, though.
I was going to say, he gets a little lucky there because one of the key fights was actually from Zero. He won his gunfight, and he would have had license to push straight through mid-map. Instead, he now has to wrap over towards that bunker side just to keep the pressure on here from Red Reserve. About a minute gone, and, well, LG, their back's against the wall in the series, and their back is against the wall here in Game 3 as well. Red Reserve just checking no one's overextended back in their base, and with these few gunfights being won by LG, you expect the pressure now to be at least a little bit relieved.
Yeah, well, 60 seconds gone. We've just seen a very aggressive Red Reserve, pretty standard so far. Interesting, though, because we're going to see, what Joe really has to offer. He's been, pretty strong in the hard point. His S&D was, like I said, doing everything he needs to do. This is where I think he can win them the series.
I agree.
Those sneaky plays, those individual one-on-ones are the ones which can change the game. But LG now on the attack, Ben.
Yes, they are. And now it's kind of like the tables have turned. Red Reserve back against the wall. They need to make the defensive plays, but it's John that now finds himself a pick. Octane wants to collapse in there as well. I would have loved to have seen Octane maybe grab that flag, of course, very, very close to those streaks. He would have maybe got the extra points. Instead, though, John running it home, and Octane isn't in a position to even go for the team kill and the cap. Instead, he's left trying to slay for his life. Meanwhile, of course, Slack, he's going to pick up the cut, so that's going to be a guaranteed flag. Now, really, the key is, does Octane find these streaks? He just needs 1 assist. That is it, and this game is looking very favorable for LG. Not going to get him, though. Joe, I'm not sure if he realizes how important that kill is.
Yeah, we were talking about it in the break, Ben, was, Octane as well on the hard point. He goes on back-to-back 5-kill streaks, no streaks. Yes, streaks are a little bit different from Forest to Valkyrie, but those streaks are so important. And this time they're winning, so maybe it's not going to affect them as much, but streaks are always going to be the ones that sometimes will seal you the deal, win you the map.
Streaks in CTF Arden Forest can be a beautiful thing, right? It allows you to be aggressive and also defensive. You can make a little bit of a mistake every now and then, but obviously not advised, but it is a cushion, that's for sure. As with 2.5 minutes left for the first half, LG still 1-0 up, and again, putting the pressure now on Red Reserve.
This is where you expect them to kind of push through, collapse here, and this is what I kind of expected from the likes of Slacked and Johnny's. That SMG presence, but, the ones that are going to pick the important kills. Huge kill, but the important thing is this man, Joe. We've talked about him and how important he is, and he knows when he's got to act quick, he's going to find one.
And Joe's timing there was perfect. His teammates win the defensive gunfights. Unfortunately, he doesn't turn around. He's managed to put some good yardage on the flag, though. But instantly off spawn, he overextends. No one from LG watching that cabin. Crosses Zero. Managed to find the pick, and now it's left JCap versus Josh. But Josh ultimately going to fall from Fire Alley. Is Zero in a position to keep the flag alive? I don't think he is. Flag returned. LG can breathe a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, and that's thanks to Cap. Cap wins a big 1v1. He enables the cut. He puts the pressure onto the flag runner. Can't go back. Again, signs of light from Red Reserve here, but still the scoreline sits at 1-0. Joe picking up those all-important kills. He's going to find himself in the bunker. You know what? There's only one player in defense. Josh going to find one. He might find a second, but shaky shots will mean that he loses that gunfight, and Cap's going to seal it all back up at the defense. So now we again turn the tables, and LG will be on the attack.
Luckily, though, Zero able to just clean up the little misplay there from Josh. Really, I think he expected that player to die a little quicker. He obviously knew the second player was in you, but unfortunately wasn't able to clean it up. And now Zero looking to just keep control of Ruin side. Meanwhile, Rated back of the map, finds one, expects the rush to come through, just can't win the gunfight, too weak. Josh has to track back, finds the first pre-firing over towards Octane, gets the double. Nicely done. Is he going to expect one more to come through, though? He's not. Now, instantly, Joe, again, off spawn, overextends. He does the same thing time and time again. It's just consistent pressure. And when your teammates are winning their gunfights in the back, Phil, it just makes everything so easy.
And this is where you really wish you had a glide bomb or a fighter pilot. It might not matter in this sense, or will it? That's the question. Rated goes big, and Josh as well picks one up in the base, and that will result in the fight. Again, that 25-point, that assist that you talked about, Ben, could have made the world of difference right now. 20 seconds left on the first half, and we're all tied up.
I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of surprised to see Rated run that flag in as quickly as he did. He has one player in bunker, which is Josh, right? I would have maybe liked to see him just hold that for 5-6 seconds, see if he's able to make a play. If he wins a gunfight in bunker, opens you up to a potential relay as well. Just kind of bleed that time off potentially. But flag goes in. I think Rated probably played that smart considering how close to streaks he was. He wanted to just secure it and see if maybe he could get a last-second kill and secure those streaks as he goes in the second half.
So we go into a game now where we were on Luminosity 1-0 with Octane 1 off streaks. It's now all tied up with Rated. I think 1, maybe 2 off streaks as well. So Rated, you know, is a smart guy. He's going to play for these kills. He's going to maybe bait out his team on the initials. And if he picks those up, those can be devastating. Red Reserve, they're not afraid to use the streaks on the attack. And again, they're playing for the W. 2-0 up, Red Reserve over current champs.
And in current form, I'm going to be honest, I favor Rated to get streaks over Octane, right? If you look at what happened in map number 1, it's prime example. Of course, we'll kick things off on board with Rated. Love the choice there of his class loadout straight off the bat. Wants to make sure he secures the streaks. And it's so simple. He makes it look so easy. Not going to find the double, however. But more importantly, the fighter pilot and the glide bomb have been earned.
Now, the question is, when are these invested? For Red Reserve, they won't want to use them on the defense, of course. It's a lovely lifeline to have. It'll be interesting to see if they do. But Josh is going to save them there. Save the bacon, if you like, as he picks up a nice double towards the bunker. Slack's causing a bit of nuisance around this. But overall, you look at the score and, you know, 1-1 and also the kills. It's all pretty much even. It's just all about those streaks, Ben.
And I want to point out the key thing that Rated actually did here. Rather than rotating all the way back to bunker, he stayed alive over towards that Ruin side. Just in case he needed to use the streaks, he was kind of playing his life a little bit. So smart play from him. Ultimately, he does fall, and now it's Josh pushing through. But I think the one thing that you kind of mentioned, ironically, in game 2 was Red Reserve just keep making the plays. And that's what they're doing here. You see the fighter pilot invested as well now from Rated.
And this is where you go, Joe, go, Joe, go, Joe. Why? I'm going to find this one. There's one left alive. Will he pick up the kill? That's big from John. That really is. You might not think it, but he's going to be taken down. It's the time that they're bought. Let's flick over to Rated, because Rated, the man who can be a turret now, just needs to set up. He does have the glide bomb. This should be a flag. And you know what? He doesn't even need to invest it. Cap actually is now the one. He's going to take down Rated, and that's 1.5 seconds. He's going to be... That's going to be really punishing, because we're going to have to see when Rated can spawn up. He doesn't have the help. They're going to go down. This is bad news for Red Reserve, and the investment there, but Josh goes huge. He just needs to stay alive. He will lose the gunfight, but now he has the support. It's a 2v1, as it's all up to Octane. We know what Sam can do, of course, with that assault rifle, but you've got to favor him. Red Reserve, they're going to jump this one home, and it's going to be 2-1, Ben. 3 minutes.
It's scrappy, but it goes in, right? And that's all that matters here for Red Reserve. They now have themselves the lead. Can they build upon it? Joe defensively mid-map looking stellar, but now last man alive here for Red Reserve. He's kind of left to make a decision. Does he track back? Does he at least try and get the fire rally cut? If he can just slow down this flag, give his teammates a little bit of time to OE, that's huge, and that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, Josh picking up one there. He's going to let Rated be able to get in and behind him. However, he might have let it slip. He's too quick, and he's going to find himself through cabin. Will Rated be able to spot him over it? He tags him up. Rated goes down to John, and now the force coming in. Josh finds one. The flag is going to be still going. It's Cap. We'll find another, and it's all tied up, baby. We're going to an equal game as it's tied 2-2 with 2 minutes and 22 left on the clock.
And here's the key. Now Cap has streaks, right? Has a fighter pilot, has a glide bomb, and obviously you see Red Reserve, they use theirs. So if you're Red Reserve, you want to try and get some pressure on LG's base as quickly as you can. See if you can bait out those streaks, and with 3 players falling and Joe with flag, this could be the moment. Slack versus Joe, huge 1v1. Slack takes it, looks for the third, and Cap forced to use that glide bomb. Should shut down 0, but you're 1 streak done, but somehow Josh has still got the flag fill.
The crazy thing was, the glide bomb then goes towards, of course, the middle. We are going to see Josh run away. The stun isn't going to capitalize, and we do still have streaks. It's invested. Fighter pilot coming down. For me, I feel like they should be safe, but
the flag is still good.
one-on-ones. The one-on-ones are won by Red Reserve.
And now you have a situation where you don't have any streaks from LG, and the flag is being run home. A minute 30. It's rated. Can he run this one home for Red Reserve? Pre-fire falls. Now it's Josh. He manages to cap it. It's a 3-2 game to Red Reserve, a minute and a half. But now LG, they're going for a counter cap of their own.
That's crazy to think about, Ben. You do not shoot that. You dive that in and you get that flag. However, it looks like a counter cap is going to be going in. It should be tied up. No streaks inbound, and we're going to see 3-3. Ben, this is the best Forest CTF I've ever witnessed.
It's a fantastic one, and with 60 seconds left, I want to throw it to an LG listening.
All right, listen. Zero's wrapping back bunker. We're missing one.
No, they can be a bunker. They can be a bunker.
You only have a fighter?
Yeah.
Don't drop.
I'm 10 off another streak.
Okay. I'm just holding right side. They can be in bunker. In bunker right now.
Keep him trapped. Keep him trapped.
I spawned up broken.
Back up base. Back bridge.
I'm coming back.
Back bridge. Hold back bridge. That is.
Nice. Okay.
One is it bunker.
Yo, I say you should call a streak.
You want me to drop it? All right,
Yeah, go for it.
I'm calling it from you. I'm calling it from you.
I'm looking inside bunker.
Calling it back to base.
Close right bunker.
We're gonna go inside bunker.
Same, he's close right to bunker still.
Back to base, down a little side.
Where is he?
Inside bunker.
Back to mid, and bunker. Back to base,
Bunker, one shot, hit him 3 times. He's one shot, back bunker. He's on the stairs, laying down.
I still have a glide.
Nice.
That's not my assist. There's one more.
Back to base.
Nice.
Come on.
Yeah.
Raise zero.
I'm getting our base.
All right, listen. We got one's middle map fire tank. I don't see the other guy. One's you, two you. I got one you.
Josh first one, then Joe. Josh and Joe.
I don't see him. He could be broken.
I'm
broken.
with you. Yeah, bring it. I'm with you.
He got through broken, then he's on our flex.
Yes, we're on our flex. Check the corners.
We're good.
Just get this wave and kill. I'm weak from mid. Look at our mid.
Get our eyes.
And with 5 seconds left, Phil, LG clutch up thanks to one very, very well-worked flag push.
Yeah, incredible stuff from LG again. Composed, calm, and collected there from the squad. And I think that's what it takes. You know, the reverse sweep is the only thing they've got going for them. Red, though, will be kicking themselves. They led in the series multiple times. They had the streaks. They had the control. They're going to be frustrated with that one.
It's worth mentioning the one play that obviously we saw right before we went to that listening when Red Reserve capped the flag. Rated has it, and he's pre-firing into bunker. If he gets that kill, he gets streaks as well. So that could have been very, very different. Ultimately, you know, he falls, and I think it was left to Josh to just kind of dive that flag in, but he falls as well instantly, and that's kind of what starts the LG counter cap that came through. But that series of events was insane. LG investing so many streaks of their own, ultimately not able to stop the flag. It was a bonkers ending there to game 3.
It really was, and you think about Raiden, and the first thing I think is jump that in, get the flag, secure the point, but for him it's the bigger picture, and I think that shows a great player in the fact he's thinking not only about the win and the score, but he's thinking about the streaks as well. It's like a, you know, 2 birds, 1 stone almost for Rated. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay off for him, and they get the flag, but imagine if they got those streaks. That could have been a completely different game. The 3-0 may have been on the cards. But no, we're going to see another hard point.
And it's insane. LG, they stay alive in game 3. Crazy, crazy ending. But now, of course, you mentioned that game 4, another hard point that comes through. Game 1, Red Reserve were in full control, and it was the sub versus sub matchup, which Red Reserve just blitzed away, right? It didn't matter what ARs did for Red Reserve. Octane was, you know, playing fantastic, but it was just the sub pressure. It was too strong. You know, Joe with a phenomenal map, and this is where you have to look at him again, Phil, in game 4 to step up and have another series. If he can, you know, keep John contained, of course, MVP from last event, if you keep him contained, you can still close this out.
Yeah, Joe, I will say, I love the plays that he was making on the CTF. I looked him on the S&D as well, a play which I'm very impressed with so far at the playoffs. Yes, we're only 3 maps in, but we'll see what he can pull off for map number 4. The reason I kind of bring that up is consistency against teams like LG, which is so hard. To kind of have a dominating map 1 is great for Red, but can you do it on a map 4? Can you just keep that fire? Not many teams can, if I'm being completely honest. And going to it, we're going to have a London Docks hardpoint. Now, this was Red Reserve's bread and butter at one stage, but LG picked this one, Ben.
Yeah, because I tell you, LG's pretty good at this map as well.
And Red's kind of fell off. I will say that they were like 10-0 or 11-1 or something silly at one stage. You got to look again at that sub presence. For me, you know, you're going to get those high Slayer kills from Octane. I'll be looking the likes of Joe, the likes of John, Slacked and Josh. This is where I think the game's won and lost, but this AR battle, I am loving it.
I was going to say, yeah. For me, if Rated steps up again, and he's just been a little bit better about securing those streaks, outside of the one play, of course, in the CTF. But if he can get some streaks here early in London Docks, and maybe just, if you can keep Octane with a slow start, maybe, you know, you build yourself a big enough lead. It's a tough task. It definitely is, because Octane just kind of always seems to have those good starts, but just not been able to, you know, convert that into score streaks so far this series.
Okay, as the time ticks down, potential last map, of course. Luminosity will not want to hear that if you're an LG fan. Apologies. It's got 2 maps to go for you. You want to push it to a game 5, but Red Reserve, they're looking to end it here and book themselves one step further. As we kick things off with none other than Octane picking off Josh, and he's trying to get this water side control, and as you will on this hard point, you want that lower dock side, you want to be able to pin them back. And
makes it look easy.
Benny started 5-1 on the first hard point. He then went another 5-1 to make 10-2. Overall, this guy's pretty good. You know, he's got a nice shot. You know, it's all right, I guess.
All right, he's okay, isn't he? Yeah.
He's disgusting.
He's 5-0. He's, what, 100 points off streaks. He has a couple of choices here, potentially overextend, but the problem is you can see the split spawn that's ultimately come through here for Red Reserve, and Sam respecting that a little bit, checking over towards his left-hand side, but falls. And it's another 5-1 start. The 5-1 Octane curse, Phil, it seems to be real.
Yeah, and if it's anything like map 1, he'll do it again right now. He's starting hard points incredibly well. However, sometimes those kills when you're off the hard point, they don't equal, you know, the points that you want. This time, though, it's 39-3. LG are going to take the majority of statue. And guess what? They're pushing through. They've got the spawns here for Main Street and LG. This is a very convincing start to the game. It's not Octane, it's JCap who's 6-0. It's JCap with the streaks. And you know what? John's on a 4-kill streak too, Ben.
That's the worry as well here, right? If John is able to maybe just find one defending the hill, oh, he ran a little too far. Didn't expect Josh to be in the corner. So no streaks for him, but a great start from JCap. And what was most impressive there was the fact that LG just kind of floated over towards the second hill, said, no, we'll take these gunfights. We'll take them every single day of the week, and we'll win them every single day of the week. And because of that, 30 seconds left on Main Street. Red Reserve have 3 points. That is it. 3 points off a hill and a half.
Well, when you start a team battle, 25-10 in kills, you're going to lose. You're going to lose that. And 3 points is not the way you want to go. And the problem is, again, you've given Luminosity that little taste of success. You've given them that CTF now. And it wasn't a blowout. It was a clutch from LG, and now they're running with it.
And this is the kind of thing you have to do now if you're Red Reserve. Rotate. Give that up. It's just not worth it. Maybe you get a couple of kills in transition, a couple of cross kills there from Fire. Unfortunately, though, Josh will fall. As we go down to Dock Warehouse, though, this is a hard point. You can get a full 60 on. We've seen it a fair amount of times throughout the league, but you have to make sure you have a favorable setup. But that setup just hasn't been locked in there by Red Reserve. LG, they're running through Red Reserve right now.
Yeah, they're having a good time, and rightly so. They're just simply out slaying. They're out positioning. I will say they're out rotating, obviously only onto the first rotation. Red Reserve gave that up. They've now given this up, and they're going to be punished because of what happened in the first 60 seconds. Now the streaks come in, and you talked about a favorable setup. LG's got it.
Yeah, they push straight out. They recognize, hey, 25 seconds left. Let's not just rest on our laurels here and pick up that time. No, let's push through. Let's get control of barrels as well. Of course, Slack ready and waiting for the new hard point to pop, and Zero unrated. They respect that he could possibly be here. Ultimately, Zero does find a pick on Slack, but now the fighter pilot comes through. They know Rated is at the back of the map, and LG, they could just swarm him like bees if they wanted to. Cap's going to do just that. Rated has to go big for Red Reserve, and ultimately not going to be able to do so. And the woes continue here for Red.
17-3. Just want to point that one out. JCap is having a stellar map, to say the least. He's going to find another 19-7 kill streak for Cap.
Schnappling.
He literally is destroying Red Reserve. Just, again, I'm pointing stats out here, but 14 points for Red Reserve. JCap has more kills than that. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Look, you look at the combined kind of Slayer rating here, and Luminosity, they have only over 10 times the amount of points of Red Reserve. I feel like I could almost call it.
Yep, I think you probably can.
This is a violation, Ben.
This is illegal in many different places, that's for sure. 152 to 14, 15 seconds left to scrap, and you know, if you're Red Reserve, you're kind of forced now a little bit to contest the scrap time. You don't want to, but you kind of have to. It's one of those horrible situations, and you look at, all right, what's the setup for the new hill pop as you go down to Lower Crane? Finally, Red Reserve may be able to get, what, 10 seconds before something potentially happens here, and the LG breaks straight through?
This is difficult. This is very, very difficult here for the guys of Red Reserve. I mean, what do you do? Yeah, you can rotate early. You rotate early, what are you going to do? Get a glide bomb in your face? Get a fighter pilot in your face? Yeah. Pull out Mountain and hope for the best. Like, you guys, you got to go into hiding after this one. But you can't. You got to game 5 if it goes that way. Red Reserve, 30 points nearly. Luminosity are breaching 165, Ben.
LG are shooting just so well right now. They've got the momentum. They're steamrolling through. There's still 30 seconds left here of Crane Hill, so this one by no means over, even though you can see the firefight control there that's going through. Zero's going to fall. JCap now pushes straight in. He's going to watch that cross. And another couple of free kills could come his way. Another double. Make it a triple. No. Zero does shut him down, but whilst that fight is going on, you can see what that does, right? JCap being in fire, taking those gunfights, gives LG so much free time on the hill.
They're being outslayed by like 35 kills.
I can't even count that.
At this point. And again, we saw this happen at Birmingham when Splice were outslaying the opposition by 35 kills. It's going to be this way. It's not like one player going off. It's every player having that game. John is sat at 14 and 15, and who cares? Like, for LG right now, Cap's at a 2.7, Slack's at a 2.0, Octane's at, I don't know, 2 point something, and he's got a minute and 40 on the hard point. This is a violation. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Wow.
Yeah. Basically, that's all you can say. A perfect map from LG, and the crazy thing is, it's not over yet. How much more damage can they do? I would love to see, you know, the likes of JCap say, all right, boys, don't get on the hill. Let me see if I can break Slash's record. 55, was it, boys? All right, I've got this. Let me have a good crack at it. Because Red only have 30 seconds, 31 seconds inside a hill.
Yeah.
In a whole rotation of hills. I mean, look at the gunfights now. They're being won. I think if I'm Red Reserve at this point, I've already tapped out. I've given up. Lads, keep your shots straight. We're going to Texas Game 5. Yeah, you're talking about strats at that point.
And it's going to the way where, you know, Slack's pre-aiming and a fighter pilot and a glide bomb's coming down at the same time. Red is just like, hell, I need to get inside. He runs straight into Slack. It is so difficult. Odds are against you in every single way.
You can't win this game. You fed the streaks early, which was the concern, and it just spiraled out of control. And the funny thing is, you mentioned at one point, this was a great map for Red Reserve. London Docks, Red Reserve. Oh, it was, you know, you were afraid of it, right? You didn't want to play them on it. Now, I mean, this is like, this just isn't pretty. It's men versus kids.
No one can predict, obviously, this score. And Luminosity, yeah, going to close this one out at a time. But it's just, you know, what can Red Reserve do from this point? Even if Red Reserve were to do what Luminosity have just done, they couldn't bring it back. It is so far-fetched almost to think that. Luminosity have all the slaying power. And like you see the kill feed lighting up blue. You've got 32 and 15 for Slack now. You know, consistently keeping that 2.0. Cap, again, 33 and 17. 24 and 13 for Octane. Someone's gonna tweet me with some stats, or JP's gonna get on it for sure. This is brutal.
Yes, most definitely is. And Red Reserve, I mean, they're just prolonging the inevitable at this point. Finally, Cap breaks through his 34th kill of the game, gets hill control. Meanwhile, the rest of his team just slaying around the outside. And it's worth mentioning, you know, we talked about the streaks early, but what does that do? It forces, you know, the mountain classes to come through from Red Reserve, and then instantly, then you see the stuns come out, you see the nades come out. They can't change to armored because when they do, the streaks come through. Ultimately, that game just spiraled out of control, and LG finished that very, very quickly.
Yeah, and now we're talking reverse sweeps. Now we're talking...
the story has changed.
Yeah, it really has. It was all looking so nice and bright here for the European squad, the only European squad here in the playoffs. And now your kind of heart's in your throat or your stomach or somewhere in between, because that wasn't just like a loss of map 4. That was a beating. And you go into map 5 and you talk mentality again with these players. And I talk map 1 about the likes of Zero and Raided, who are like looking at each other like they're ready to start a fight, of just getting hyped. Now, you know, what's going on in Red Reserve's kind of camp, it's not good, to say the least.
Very, very quiet. But again, it is a USS Texas Game 5, a map game mode that we know Red Reserve have been fantastic on. Now I think you look for that sniper fight, right? Zero versus Octane. That very well, that one fight could be deciding who progresses through to the winners semi-finals. Of course, it all started with LG 2-0 down. They needed the reverse sweep. We didn't think it was going to happen, but now all of a sudden we find ourselves heading into the first Game 5 of the Stage 1 playoffs. Stage 1 playoffs has kicked off with a bang. First game of the day, a pretty big upset. Second game of the day, potential reverse sweep. Of course, LG, they were down 2-0 to Red Reserve. They forced the game 5. Now it's anybody's game as we go over to USS Texas.
Yeah, it's just down to an S&D. No big deal here. They've got to step it up. Ben perfectly highlighted the sniper battle, I think, from Zero and Octane is going to be really interesting. Again, you're going to have those fast, aggressive SMGs down low. It's going to be one to watch for sure. And again, just kind of the turnaround of this series, you guys can see it. A very dominant hard point from Red Reserve. A very dominant Search and Destroy, 6-2, I think it was, or 6-3.
Yep.
And then it kind of all crumbles from that. Again, that momentum-changing game mode, the CTF. LG swoop it away. Nicely done.
And Red was so close to winning the CTF as well. Sure, that may have had a little bit of psychological effect there, potentially, of course, on the game 4, because it was a whitewash from LG. But now, that's all in the back of the players' minds. We're in a game 5, Search and Destroy. Loser plays Rise and potentially finishes 7th, 8th if you lose that matchup there. Last place at playoffs for the winner. You progress through to the winner's semi. And already you've seen the smoke strap come out. And love this from Josh, but unfortunately Joe is going to fall. Josh there to trade, grabs bomb more importantly, and gets away with his life. So 3v3.
Very important play from Josh there, like you said, bomb and a kill. 55 seconds. The question is, what's the game plan now?
I love that.
This is the game plan. Bomb will go down. Will Josh escape? That's the question. If he can get to the back again. Important to see. Let's see how LG can retake this, though, with Zero as a commanding position.
And too many times you see kind of players delay their push over towards the A site, right? It takes very long. Josh this time picks up the bomb and says, nope, just going to fly over towards B. LG won't expect it. And with Zero with a sniper rifle, all he has to do here is jiggle peek. You don't want to see him just kind of over peek or over commit as Rated shuts down Caps. Now they know Zero's there, and Octane may really have to kind of push this, but Rated has the cross. Slack now over at the A site. It's a 1v1. Time is on Zero's side. Round 1 should go to Red Reserve.
Yeah, Zero just sitting down. He's going to touch, tag, but not take him down. Slacked will get the kill, but he will not get the round. Red Reserve strike first, and that, Ben, is what you need.
Yes, yes it is. Now, it is important to note, though, Slacked picking up that kill, I believe, puts him a little close to some streaks here. It's just off that first round. I had a quick glance down at the bottom right before, of course, it took the player shot. I'm pretty sure he was quite close there, so something to bear in mind as we go into round 2.
Okay, so kicking things off, Slacked.
Yeah, you got the ace, 4-0, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Zero kind of dipping away. He tried to get away from that. He didn't want to feed him, but main thing, get the round. You got it. Take down Slacked early on. This will be a double whammy. But Octane, sniper, towards the A-bomb site. The bomb, though, is in the hands of Cap. Interesting that Slack doesn't pick it up, actually.
Yeah, you're kind of expect that to happen. Maybe they go for that kind of fast A push, but instead, Cap has bomb in hand, and Slack is just kind of free to roam around. Might just be a comfort thing, you know? You ask Slack, do you want bomb? Nah, I'm good. Let me just try and roam around, pick up a couple of kills, rather than be super vulnerable trying to plant the bomb. Of course, the points do definitely help, but too many times you see players instantly traded off, so I think Slack's thinking maybe bigger picture and prolonged picture, but he tries to push straight through. Josh shuts him down. John there to trade, and Cap kind of says, all right, Josh, well, you remember what you did first round? I'm going to do it again this round.
Well, Ben, that's it. Slack down. That's the important one. And they know it more than us. Well, as us, you know what I'm saying. Sniper in the hands of Zero. The bomb down. Not going to be able to get Cap as he sneaks away, but a 3v3 retake. You've got to favor LG in this position. Big, big kill. He's coming up next, and it's going to be Octane. Now, the odds heavily favor Luminosity. Octane's already spotted Zero, and he can just bide his time now. The bomb's planted for him. He doesn't really have to do much. He's got the backup of his teammates. John's firing down on the opposition as well. There you go. A kill onto Zero as Rated takes down Octane, but that should be the round here as the time ticks away.
Yep. Rated left with really nothing he could do. He has to jump on the bomb and try and go for the defuse. 2v1. 13 seconds left. You're not going to be able to find both kills, so you just kind of pray you get a little lucky in those situations. Unfortunately, JCap doesn't believe in luck. Checks the bomb, finds the kill, and we're all square. 1 round apiece, and really nothing to worry about too much here about streaks either.
So now streaks are off the cards.
I think Cap's probably going to be the closest.
Yeah.
With a plant and a couple of kills.
I just like the way that map 1 to map 4 now, it doesn't matter. It's gone.
Yeah, it's all irrelevant.
It's all down to this. We talk about the prize of rounds and things, but a $500,000 playoff, round 5 straight away in
a lot of money, Phil.
the first game. These are the games we love. We said we wanted to see a game 5. We've been treated to it. Now, are we going to be gifted that round 11?
And it's worth mentioning, something different Red Reserve do this round, right? They smoke out the A site, but this time they use it to try and bait out the nades. The first time it was a real push. Joe was trying to go for the plant, and you can see it's actually rated with a bomb, and he's gone for a very fast B push, finds the first blood, and LG, they've kind of been outplayed there in terms of the opening strat.
They have, and I like how rated he's not afraid with the bomb to push up. I wouldn't say it's a necessarily smart decision, but he makes it work, and Zero will always make that work. And you know what? He'll try and make that work as well. He will. I nearly called it. I nearly said he'll make that work as well, but he lets the gameplay do the talking. This is the danger of when you put a one-shot weapon in the hands of a player like Zero. There he is.
Oh, yeah, give us a smile.
Smiles all right.
Go on, give us a wave, Zero. I know you want to.
However, he has those soundproof headsets, so he won't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Rip. But he has a cracking round there. Lots of kills with a sniper rifle, which you love to see if you're a Red Reserve fan. Of course, Octane had a few rounds ago. But you're not seeing really that head-to-head fight that many would love to see in terms of that snipe fight. And Octane actually pulls out the assault rifle. Says, no, don't really want to snipe anymore. And kind of give that up. And instead, you expect now to see maybe a little bit of pressure coming in actually mid-map, if you will.
Yeah, trying to get the map control with the AR, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Of course, snipers will always be very strong in certain positions. Josh gets a bit of poor timing there as Slacked comes in as well. Make it John, should I say. Rated answers back to 1, so now a 3v2. This is a round where LG need to win. You can't let a round like this throw away, and you know what? It's all down to Rated. He's on for the ace now, and you know what? That's the second bayonet he's got this series.
Second on John as well.
It is.
Worth mentioning 2 for 2 bayonet kills on John, and what was a horrible situation might now be maybe just a little more manageable. As I say that, though, shot in the back, and that was a round which was just plagued of bad timing for Red Reserve. Josh gets just super unlucky when he gets challenged, and Zero the same thing. Pulls out the machine pistol, has to glance to his right. You have to check your corner before you go up the stairs, and don't think he expected the LG player to come back down the staircase and challenge, but ultimately LG, they'll take that as they once again level things up.
Round by round, both teams.
I know what you're thinking, Phil. You're thinking about potential. I'm not even going to say it.
Ben, it's not even potential at this point. It's guaranteed.
You think?
Absolutely not. Nothing's guaranteed. Not when we see Red Reserve 6-2, map 1. And now we're on what you would say is maybe a preferred map for them. Joe, though, 0 and 3. Will be looking to change that. Now he's got the bomb in his hand.
Worth mentioning, he has been essentially bait on a few rounds.
He's the one orchestrating all the smokes. He's the one, you know, putting himself in the firing line.
A note this time, right? So you think about Red Reserve, how they've played their attacking rounds. First round, Joe smokes, goes for the plant. Second round, Joe smokes, bomb rotates. This time, holds his smoke. So he still has it. So bear that in mind as we get maybe a little later into the round here. That may have a massive effect as Zero's going to have to call out caps on sight. And now Joe's left with a horrible situation of does he go for the challenge or what is the play? Instead, the smoke comes out, throws it a little deeper than maybe I think he would have liked. There is a blind spot there. You can see it from Zero's perspective, but Joe launches on to the side. Is he going to get the bomb down before challenged? He's not, and that's a two-piece which just can't happen.
That's the problem with the smoke at that point and the way it was dropped is if they can get across, you're not only going to get the pick, you're going to get out of there. You're shooting someone planting a bomb, free kill, but you're also going to get out of there. I like the play from Joe in a sense, but Zero left in a 1v4 with 16 seconds. This just ain't happening. Nope. And LG will be taking the lead in this series.
And you almost want to see the bomb carrier not have the smoke grenade, right? So the bomb carrier can hop over to the bomb. You can bait out a couple of nades, let him track back. Then as he jumps over the second time, you can throw that smoke a little deeper maybe, just cover the staircase, so Zero still has a play. The problem there is Cap's able to what? Jump onto the site, finds one, finds two, no response.
And then has the smoke to get away. The one thing as well was it was the way he found the first, it was kind of off screen, but he picks off the first player and then's just shooting a person planning. Like, it's an easy two-piece once you get that first kill. The smoke, of course, no one can call out. He's jumping across. Maybe a rethink of strategy. But alternatively, you know, they get that bomb down, they get out of there, and you'd be laughing if you're Red Reserve.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think LG are respecting the fact that, you know, if Red do get that bomb with Zero sniping, rounds just become infinitely harder to win. It's now LG back on the attacking side. That's a nice first blood that comes in from Zero. It's Cappy checks. Is that bomb? Calls out, yes, yes it is, lads. So bomb down over toward the B side.
Again, one of those rounds where you want to swing it back in your favor or even make it neutral, should be saying, as Joshy's going to tag one up. Joe still yet to find a kill, and again, still being the bait. It's an unfortunate role for some, but it's one that someone's got to take.
this is where Zero needs a little bit of help, right? He's called out bombs down. You know bombs down. It's been picked up. You can clearly visibly see it. One player up top goes for the quick scope. John cleans him up. Rated was there for the instant trade. So now you've got yourself a 3v2. Joe finds his first kill. It's Octane that falls. And in a 1v3, you say, just hop the bomb. Just jump on the bomb and force Slack to come to us. Slack's going to be spotted, instantly traded out, and a wonderful retake from Red Reserve.
Yeah, I just want to point out, not necessarily a game changer, but the way that he drops the smoke at the end of the ship as well, it just blocks it's a way where you can block a site off.
Right.
There's 3 entrances from that, makes it 2, you've got the numbers, and we've seen so many times, Ben, where, you're in a 3v1, all he has to do is peek out, kill the bomb plant and run. And you're suddenly like, oh,
Bucket.
Sugar.
Well, that's not the word I would use, but yes.
Well, 3-3, 90 seconds.
This truly has been a back and forth game 5.
I'm telling you, it's guaranteed, Ben.
Stop. If it is. I mean, what a way to start playoffs. We all knew it was going to be great, and so far it hasn't disappointed. Zero sniper rifle at the back of the map as he just has to sit and watch his teammates get traded out, and that's unfortunate. The hit marker comes through. Octane's on the bomb. No sniper for him. Instead, good old-fashioned assault rifle, and John now has all the information he needs. Josh is going to be there, though, to challenge. Ultimately gets traded, and Joe just says, nah, I'm sticking this, boys. I'm trying to get that bomb down. Drops. Zero, 1v2.
Yeah, and this is where he just needs to win this individual gunfight, because the problem is LG can... There you go. LG, and he's playing it smartly there. They're pinching on in. Octane, I tell you what.
Let's have none of it.
That was a disgusting shot. We, of course, see it from Zero's POV, but he didn't miss them. That's 3 bullets to the head, and that's a round to LG. A defuse for Octane, a 2-kill streak. He's working towards it. And again, we go back and forth with these 2 squads.
And that's just wonderful play from Cap as well, right? Stays alive, peeks, keeps Zero's attention mainly on him, buys Octane enough time, and then, of course, Zero kind of clocks. He's like, wait, hold on a minute. Where is Octane? Kind of calls the flank correctly, and then you're relying on, a wonder shot that you have to hit.
And then you think as well in positions like that, Zero, I'm not doubting it for 1 second. He's been awesome with the sniper, but around, say Zero had the STG at that point, that's a winnable round. Yeah. And it's so awkward to kind of think of those situations, but 7 rounds in, only 1 round separate these 2 teams.
And this could be a big offensive win from LG. If they go 5-3 up, Red Reserve could be, once again, heading to the loser's bracket, where, of course, they would have to face Rise in round 1. And John gets the first blood on Joe. And there's the second. John trying to turn this round into his own.
He's looking for the 3rd as well.
Don't blame him. Doesn't even need to.
Yeah.
Slack gets it, and Zero, 1v4 again. He falls, and LG put themselves at match point.
And that's the first time where it's, they've separated themselves from Red Reserve. Zero, we're going to see on that final kill go down. And now you've got a little bit to play with. I don't think Red Reserve picked up a kill there, because, correct me if I'm wrong,
No,
I think one of the players, I think it might be Octane or Slack, might be working towards streak. And it might not necessarily come into play this round, but if they were to lose, that's another worry for Red Reserve.
Obviously, it all depends. If he can stay alive and earn those streaks. Of course, he's halfway through and pulls out the sniper rifle now for a more passive play style. I'm curious, is John, where is John playing? Because he's going to be over towards the A side, so he's being more aggressive. So, yeah, realistically now, it comes down to what is Red Reserve going to do? The smoke goes out, the nade comes through, and that's a beautiful counter from John. But will Red Reserve have the bottle to stick the plant once again? John's going to push straight through. Josh, actually, with the team kill, shuts down Joe and John. So now you have a 2v3. Octane shuts down Rated with a snipe.
Yeah, and that's maybe the game changer there is the snipe. Josh is in a great position. I tell you what, that's bold from Cap to even peek that. Josh is going to find Slack. Cap has the location revealed as well. One place as he snuck behind. It's a 2v2. It's Zero and Josh, the Octane and Cap. And I tell you what, I want to see exactly what Zero can see.
So he must see him. He has to see him. Well, he's going to see him now. Finds the pick, and Octane actually snipes Josh. So now you've got yourself a 1v1, Zero versus Octane. And bear in mind, of course, well, it might not have an effect, but Octane close to those streaks.
Zero's just pegged it. He's just pegging it across the map. He's just running. He's found himself a long-range gunfight, but the PPSH prevails there. An easy kill for him, but I just love the fact Zero, no hesitation. He just got his running boots on.
He had to, right? You think about those situations. It's Octane with a sniper rifle. What other choice do you have?
The problem was if he didn't find him, the bomb was miles away.
That's true.
So that he just went, you know what, balls to the walls, I'm going for this.
But I think Zero in his head thinks, all right, if I had a sniper rifle in this situation, what would I do? I'd probably linger back on one bomb site, which at that point was the A site, CV plants, if not readjust, try and clutch. So I think Zero kind of read that situation as probably best as he possibly could, and now LG still at series point.
Well, don't forget, 5-3, this is how we went into this potential last round. Now it's 5-4.
All comes down to first blood for me this round now.
Oh, and that's quick. That's very quick. Bomb grenades come out. That could have been a double. I think it was a double. It was well coordinated from Red Reserve. Joe gets the kill. And now Zero finds a snipe. It's a 2v4. John and Slacked.
But bear in mind, bomb, of course, was planted. Slacked is, well, he's quite frankly in no man's land at this point. It's a 4v2. Rated falls. They know where John is. He's tagged up, and Josh may just got worst timing he's ever had in his career. Finds the trade. Slack forced to check bomb. No one on it. 22 seconds left. He falls, and Red Reserve stay alive. A game 5, round 11. You couldn't write it, Phil.
Ben, it was always guaranteed.
It was guaranteed, Phil. It was guaranteed. You said it from
This is
round
what
2.
we live for. The game 5, the round 11. Now, it's literally forget map 1, 2, 3, 4. Forget about the 100-point club. Forget about everything that's just gone on.
One round.
It's one round. It's 4 against 4. You've got 1 life. I don't believe there's streaks.
There's no streaks.
There's no streaks on the cards. Let's get it on, Ben.
And Red Reserve on the attacking side. We've seen a wide variety of different strategies that they've used so far here in game 5. Zero for first blood. That would have been massive, opening up the site. But for now, it's a stalemate.
Smoked. Oh, cheeky.
Oh, you
We've
genius.
seen this play before.
Oh.
And he's going to be grenaded. That's a great team effort from Luminosity. We saw the strategy play out previously. And now, another smoke. This is all for Zero. Look at the grenades.
That is such a high-risk play, and it's just not going to work. Now, a 2v4. Joe tries to stretch the bomb in a place where, realistically, the round goes in Zero's hands, and rated falls. 0, 1v4. Eat your heart out. If you're going to clutch this, you're tagged up, you fall, and LG take it in the game 5, round 11. An unbelievable reverse sweep from them from 2-0 down. They almost lose the CTF. They go huge on a counter cap, and then, of course, the cap to win it. And that, of course, now bigger picture means our losers round 1 match, Red Reserve versus Rise Nation.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. It's always going to be difficult for whoever drops down.